I'm Bob Whitson, Tyler's grandpa. Of course, you can probably tell where he got his good looks. I've been a meat cutter for 50 years. Of course, I'm retired. So I want to show you some fundamentals on cutting up chickens. Try to explain a little, different things to you. Of course, nowadays, that's a young frying chicken. You think you can fry this chicken in a skillet? The ideal frying weight for a chicken is 3.5 to 4 pounds. Of course, they all go to Kentucky Fried and all your chicken places. But 3.5 to 4 pound chicken actually has a better bone to meat ratio in it than any size chicken you can get. So I want to show you the basic 8-piece cut first. This is what you get now. Of course, they want you to cut them up fast. Kind of have to learn the techniques of cutting them up first before you try to get fast. I always start with mine.
Watch how speed he does this.
How come you can't go that fast?
So I'm usually always trying to teach you how to do it.
That's your basic 8-piece cut. Of course, you don't count the fat. If I was going to cut up a chicken to fry, that's the way I'd cut it up. Then also, if I want to do a really good job, I'd take this off.
And I show you guys the way I do it. This is also, there's a whole bunch of different ways to do it. So
Then
I
here's
usually
about
like
your
4 to 5 different ways.
chicken tenders. You know where the chicken tender comes from? Where?
From the breast.
Huh?
From the breast.
Yeah. That's your chicken tender right there. That's the one that's, of course, it's usually a little bit bigger than that, but that size of breast. Back here years ago, of course, when you're frying them too, a lot of them, take and kind of fold the wing. Now this piece here, actually you can't cook it anyway, so I take and cut it off. And then take and kind of knock that down a little bit, and then when you're frying that makes it a whole lot easier to fry. Now you go to the 9-piece. Which is actually a better cut.
basically instead of taking the meat off the bones, he's taking the bone off the meat.
That there's your 9-piece cut. This here's piece here's got your wishbone in it. That's your 9-piece cut.
It was a much older school overcut.
And a lot of times too, especially on the big thighs, and even on the legs, if you're taking piercing just one time, that lets that heat get in through around the bone when you're frying them, and it makes them fry a whole lot better. Even on the leg, if you do the leg that way, just taking piercing one time, that draws the heat in through it and gets it around that bone where to cook a whole lot better. You want to go for speed, you use this. But you want to make sure you're paying attention all the times. I want to show you how to bone a chicken.
He's working on the processing plant. That's what you want to go for that speed. Whack, 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 done.
Or back in we was cutting up, but that's for the, except for the 9-piece, we cut all of ours on a saw. Big, big meat bandsaw. Basically, anytime you bone either a chicken or a duck or a turkey, you take and bone them the same way. You want to leave this piece, skin piece, whole, so you can't start here. So you have to turn them over and start down across the back. The skin is what makes them pretty when you get through with them. down here till you find that thigh bone and just go right around it. This don't look real purty on this side here, because you got to do a little hacking on it. Just try not to cut through it anywhere when you come into the bone.
First years, you guys will be doing something close to this, closer to the end of the year.
Sweet.
I feel that.
I want to have fun. Can I bring my own pocket knife?
Unless it's that one.
That one's similar to that one.
That one's got it's got interchangeable blade, so you can disposables. You can throw that out and put a new one.
Cool.
Mine's cut out. That's it.
You don't want to leave anything in here to get you sued.
Makes sense.
Okay, you're... Yeah, you are. You guys look at it, you can see how much meat he's taken off the bones. Just bones left, there's no meat.
That's awesome.
I can't do that.
Can you do that, Chef?
Yeah, can you?
Huh?
Can you do that?
Yeah, I can do that.
No, that was a
How did you do
you
that?
hesitated so much.
It's been a hot minute, but I can do that.
That's what we're after.
That's awesome.
Taking,
A lot of
you roll them. Like I say, always make sure you don't leave nothing in there that somebody bite down on and break a tooth or something. And it ain't hard to do.
It ain't pretty.
But a lot of them take these, fold the thighs up in them, and then they'll take and roll them. Tie them up and roll them, or get some of the stretch mash that you pull over, pull them up, and when them bake's real good, you take them out, well, let it be together, and you can slice it. But, you know, you can use that piece of meat there, but the legs got this old big piece on them here. Now, they're actually hard to come around. I can bone one with the legs on it, but I don't like to break any. I like to keep the skin intact. if I could put it up like that, you know, kind of keep it mostly covered. Just makes it look better when if you display it like this, or you take and roll it and stuff it into something, or take and stuff it and then tie it. But you want to keep the skin. The skin's what makes it look pretty, gives it a better presentation when you're, you know, presenting it as a, you know, whatever dish you want to make out of it. It's actually, you know, a good piece of meat. It's a cheap, economical piece that you can make fantastic dishes out of. You know, chicken, I like chicken. I can eat chicken about any way you fix it, but, you know, it's a good economical dish it's a good profit dish. And the fancier you make it, if you fry this chicken and sell it for $5.98, or you make some kind of fancy dish out of it and get $24.95 out of it, you got the same price in this chicken. So it's whatever, you know, you want to do with it. They've got a fantastic profit margin to them, and people like chicken. You know, you can do anything in the world with chicken. It'll take any spice you want to put on it. You know, regardless, or any breading you want to put on it. The chicken will spice up better than just about any meat that you can, you know, present, and it, you know, absorbs the flavor. You can marinate it overnight. It just makes a fantastic dish, and it's a good profit meat. You know, people don't care if it's good or what they pay for stuff. Usually, you know, if they go somewhere to buy something, you know, a good restaurant or somewhere, they ain't gonna ask about the price. Like I say, you can take this piece of meat here and make 1,000% profit off of it. And basically, when you get into business, it all boils down to one thing anyway, and that's profit. So, you know, if you can make some good money, well, that piece of meat there, you know, there's no limit to what you can do with it and make it look good and make more money.
We should be able to cook that up like today.
True?
Yeah.
Feed me.
You know, everything today, yes ma'am.
Chef,
What?
are we cooking those?
Well, maybe. You got a real question right now?
That was my question.
Oh, no. Well, maybe. Just go on. No, don't worry about that one.
Everything today boils down to profit anyway. That's the reason they cut up the chickens and you get all your beef into primary cuts. Everything just boils down to profit. So if you go to work for somebody, they expect you to make them money. And of course, you're going into a good trade. If you go into this cooking, they're not going to replace it. They ain't going to send a good meal in the box like they do their meats. It has to be prepared on site. You know, people wants to see the people back here cooking it. You go to a meat market, they got them all closed off now. They push their meat out on a cart and cut the box open and put it in the case. But it's not so much in some places. Around here, that's all it's up. And it just boils down to, it's just a dying trade. Nobody wants to do it anymore. It's a dying trade.
What made you want to become a butcher?
Necessity, just a job. You know, I started off, there was a lady's husband died. I was only 17, and you know, her husband died. She had a little processing plant, and I needed a job, so I went to work for her, and she taught me, you know, I'd kill them, skin them, and of course, you know, we'd hang them and cure them out, and then we'd cut them up. Then I went from processing to retail. When I first went into retail, I hated it because, you know, everything had to look real pretty and nice, and it's all in presentation. Whether it's You can cook something up that's real nice, or you can cut, a good piece of meat up, but if it don't look good, nobody wants it. It's all in presentation. You have to have good presentation. The hog is one of the most versatile animals that they raise, because there's more of this hog is eat than any animal that they raise today. With all the ethnic foods, this hog, the head, the ears, the tail, the feet, intestines, the heart and liver. You ever wonder why them parts got popular though? Pig feet, pig ears, pig tails.
People wanting to make more money.
Huh?
People wanting to make more money.
No. No, back here, but even all your poor countries, and back here in the plantation days, they butchered the hog. Who got the hog? Who got the better parts of the hog?
Butchers.
No, the plantation owners. The workers, that's what they got. They got the offs. They got the head, the feet, the tail, the intestines, so they had to learn to cook them. A lot of your countries, they cook the lungs, everything. It was all born out of necessity. Because that's all they got to eat, so they had to learn how to cook it. But a hog is really a good animal.
So we went over yesterday, guys. He's gonna break it down. He's gonna break it down to the loin, the ribs, the picnic, the butt, and the ham.
Picnic.
Picnic. There's the butt, and there's a lower piece called the picnic. When
Okay.
you watch him, you can see it. First, he's gonna take off the trotters.
You gonna pickle those?
What's that sound?
Crack.
That sound?
You'll probably wake up in the middle of the night and hear that crack.
Johnny, there's your favorite sound.
Yes.
Where's the trigger?
You see, it's just like the chicken, guys. He's cutting it around the joints.
Actually, I cut that head off with just a knife.
Yeah. But yeah, this morning when we were cutting it, we took it off with just knifing it off.
Cool.
Yeah.
You guys got to miss the part where we sold it in half. This was the whole pig.
Shoot out
That's
your
what made
legs.
Hunter happy.
Huh?
That's what made Hunter happy.
And there's still got a little freeze in it.
Gotcha.
First thing I want to do is take the ham off.
So as he does this, you can get up there real closer if you want to watch Johnny.
I like to do this to show you the structure of the and all animals, regardless, has the same bone structure. Of course, when they're bigger, they got more bulk, but they all basically have the same bone structure. That's your ham this here would be your ham hock, but that's the one they smoke, or you can make it just like it is. Make a ham roast out of it. They bone them out for boneless hams. That's where all your hams come from, right here. This here is your shoulder. Right here you get your Boston butt roast from here on up. And from here down, that's where they get their picnic hams. And if this here were just a little bit bigger, I'm going to take and cut that want to show that to them. Last time I left it in there, but I'm gonna take this out.
What do you guys think this is? We take it
This
out.
here's your tenderloin. This here would be the same piece that come off your beef in the filet mignon. To come off the beef. This here's the pork tender. That's the tenderest piece of meat on the pork, because all it does, it has no muscle structure to it at all. All that piece there does is holds a piece of fat that protects the kidney. So that's the reason that's so tender. It has no working muscle function at all. If this is on a bigger hog, this here's what they call the sirloin. You know, you're selling all the little sirloin rolls, the boneless sirloin chops. Well, that's where this would come from if it was on a bigger hog. You know, that's much bigger.
Yeah, the one we're using right here is a suckling hog. We have roasters, and then there has the market hog right after it. So this is, Kristen, this is where he's separating the butt from the picnic.
Okay.
Yeah, there should be your Boston butt there. Roast. A lot of people like to smoke and make the pulled pork out of them, or they smoke excellent. Make a real good smoke. This here is your picnic ham. Where's my board at?
The board you want for? Oh,
Of course, I always take this piece off. That's where your pork neck bones come from. They take and cut these up for the neck bones. But there's very little waste on any animal anymore. They use about every bit of it for one thing or the other. There's very little waste on it. When you learn to cook, you need to learn to cook it all. That's part of the business. Yeah, it's here, so I can't cut that with my saw. That's where you get your pork spare ribs. Of course, this here's your pork chops, your boneless loin. You get your end cuts, center cuts, loin cuts. And they bone them out. That's where you get your boneless pork loins. And that's where you get your baby back ribs. It comes off this piece right here. So, any questions?
Which piece on here is bacon located?
What?
Bacon?
Oh, right here, but it ain't big enough to, your bacon comes off of your spare rib. But of course, you know, the bigger hogs are about this thick. But that's where your bacon comes from. It comes off then that's what they have left is your spare rib. That's where you get your bacon. This hog, of course, them hogs there, they weigh, 225, 250 when, after or at least 220 after they're on the rail. And, they got about, these here are about that thick when they break them down. So they take that away from the rib, that's where they get the bacon. Also, you can make, we make what they call Arkansas bacon out of these. Just take that bone out and then kind of split them, cure them, and hang them. But then they'll smoke, they'll smoke these, they'll smoke this. Of course, that whole hog can be smoked. They even, have smoked pork chops. But you can smoke the whole hog, and there's nothing on the hog that you can't smoke. But that's basically what it is. Did you learn anything today?
Yes.
I hope so. I had to drive 6.5 hours not to teach you people that. I enjoyed it though. I really did. But that's what it's all about. But always remember though that all your animals basically have the same bone structure. And anytime you're working for somebody, always strive for profit. And always try to get a reputable delivery